How are you? Thank you, Kachi, for that centering moment. The older I get, the more centering moments I need. Whether that's because my mind is becoming increasingly scattered or because I'm just in touch with how important it is to get grounded and get focused and get clear in the midst of the chaos. It's a wild world. It's insane in many, many ways. Our culture has assumptions built into it about who we are and what's possible and what's necessary and what's real and what's meaningful and what success is and isn't and what a man or woman should be or shouldn't be, and all these different ways that we get squished and something gets squeezed out of us in that. And to open to our spirits is to open again to who we really are. And if you don't get anything but one sentence out of our time together, it would be, for me, it would be this. It is by loving the people that you love with your whole heart that you become who you really are. It's by being in alignment and in truth with your purpose for being alive. Whatever that may be, and however that may show up at different phases and times in your life, that you are successful. That to me is what success is. I don't measure it by your bank account. You know, in our society though, that's what we do. I mean, if you say someone is a success, doesn't that usually mean that the person has made a lot of money or has a lot of money? That's how we as a culture define success. I think really that's how we impoverish ourselves, because who we are as human beings is so much greater than that, and to diminish a human being to the numbers in their bank account and use that as an evaluation of a human life is, to me, beyond impoverishing. It's pathetic. It's a disgrace, and it reduces us. It diminishes us, and our job is to rebel against that diminishment, so that we can be spacious, so that we can be full of our purposes and our creativity and our passions and our beauty, and find our love for life working through us in the events that unfold in our lives. And when I talk about money, I've lived it. My dad and my uncle, as some of you know, were the founders and owners of Robbins, 31 Flavors ice cream company, and I'm an only son. I don't have brothers, I have sisters. My father was an old-fashioned patriarch. He didn't believe women should work. He believed that their husbands should take care of them. It's a interesting, antiquated, patriarchal concept, but the point being, in my family, it was on me. My sisters were not going to work for the company. He groomed me to succeed him and eventually take over the company and run it. That was his plan. That was his plan before I was born. It was planned when I was born. As I was a young child, I worked at 5 years old, 6 years old in the factory, in the warehouse, sweeping floors, emptying waste baskets, doing anything I could do at that age. And then as I got older, he trained me to run the company, and I worked in every department, and I invented flavors. And in fact, some of you may have eaten those flavors. My favorite one, that pistachio nut, was one I had something to do with. Jamocha almond fudge was my brainchild. Do any of you ever partake? Yeah, hands. Well, it was my favorite flavor too. And I ate a ton of it. I actually ate ice cream for breakfast sometimes. And our home had an ice cream cone-shaped swimming pool in the backyard, and our clocks all, instead of having the numbers 1 to 12, each number was at 31. I mean, which were the clocks that were in the stores. We had them in our house. I had them in my bedroom. I mean, you know, it's really crazy. And here's the other piece of it. My uncle, Bert Baskin, my dad's brother-in-law and partner, the co-owner of the company, died of a heart attack at the age of 54. 54 years old, he was a young man. He was a very, very big man. He ate a lot of ice cream. And when he died, I asked my dad, do you think there could be a connection between the amount of ice cream that my uncle would eat and his fatal heart attack? My father did not like this question. He didn't like me for asking the question. And he's very strict about it. He said, absolutely not. His ticker just got tired and stopped working. And then he waved me off. And I don't know if you know, every family has what John Bradshaw called it, no-talk rules. The taboos that you don't illumine, the elephants in the room you don't talk about. Every family has these things that are too hard to face. In our family, it had to do with the connection between ice cream and health, disease, heart disease. And I had violated that taboo when I asked that question. And I couldn't understand my father's not wanting to even consider the possibility, because by this time, he had manufactured and sold more ice cream than any human being that had ever lived on planet Earth.